I've personally been suffering this for years, working in corporate in multiple projects at the same time, globally, being bombarded with chat messages, emails, phone calls. Somebody on the floor catches you up, all these things. So today we will talk about communication between teams, how productivity suffers and how to overcome this when we start working asynchronously with the team in the right way. Because the thing is, with all the technology available out there, it doesn't matter if it is Slack, Microsoft Teams, the new Google Chat as well. We have now all the features we need to make efficient communication. And if you worry that you say now, well, I cannot change my team, it's all their fault. Wait, if you change, everybody else will change as well. So I give you 3 reasons and the solutions to them why your team communication decreases your overall productivity. So let's dive in.
Paperless movement, your productivity, your way.
Okay, in the ICOR methodology, in the output part, where we talk about project management, there we have also the part of team communication. And one major issue is the lack of using threads. Nowadays, most communication tools, and I'm not talking about iMessages and WhatsApps, although even they have now a reply feature. I'm talking about the professional communication tools that you use at work. All of them have threads or some sort of this. So I just want to show you what the issue is not using threads. Okay, so here we have a communication that could happen in your company as well. So I'm writing, do you have an update for project A? The answer is yes, I'm working on, and then whatever is working on. Do you also have an update on project B? Yes, I'm working on blah, blah, blah. And I have an idea for what we can do in project C. Amazing, tell me more. We could build a flying boat. Can you give me some info for project A, please? Okay, you see where this is going. Next message sounds great. So what color should the boat have? Additional info about project A. That's what I'm sharing. I forgot. Can you please add this to project X? So this means some additional information. I think red would be great color. I think you start seeing what I'm referring to, and that you might be suffering as well a lot, is the scattered information. Okay, so you get just a feed of messages that are out of context. So great color, I've added the info to the project. Project X is outdated. Please check your emails. That's another person in the chat. If you have not direct messaging, but more people, things get really worse. But what about project A? And now when we think about project A, there was something, and then this happens. 1 week later, you try to find something in the chat, you go back, you go through all the messages, then you say, oh yeah, there's something about project A, but there was somewhere another, oh there, can you give me an update about project A? This is what the issue is with all this out of context communication. And that's what threads are for, okay? So in these communications, I can start with a simple message, do you have an update for project A? And the person is then able to reply in a thread. So let's go to Slack, quickly check how this looks like. So here I just created quickly a demo channel. And here I will just write, give me some information about project A, please. So now, instead of writing below and say, here's the information, then saying, I like the color red. Obviously, there would be different people writing here. Now it's only me, but I hope you still get the point there. And then say, here is some additional info for project A. Okay. Instead of doing all this, we could now just not share this information about the project here and here. Give me some information on project A. Instead, you go to reply and thread. And this is now in Slack, but you have to check your communication tool. You probably have something like this in your communication tool as well. Microsoft Teams has it. The new Google Chat has it. It also works in commenting on your project managers, like for example, ClickUp in the comment section. You can create threads. Now click here and I reply, here is the info about project A. Okay. Then I write, I like the color red. The other person can reply in there, I prefer blue. Boom. Now I have a thread, a topic talking about colors, and I will have a history of all the conversation about colors in one thread, and I have another history about project A in this thread. So now I can say project X. Okay, info about this, and here, boom, I reply there. Here's info about X. Okay, so if this becomes old now, okay, and there's a lot going on, but you want to refer back to project A, always try to find the thread again. Go to the thread and write something, hey, any update? And then in Slack, at least it's possible, you can also send this to the channel. So now it's in the thread, but it also shows in the chat. So therefore, now you can simply click there and you go into the thread. It's really key to get this understanding of threads, how powerful they are. So that's where at the paperless movement and for our clients and when we do coaching, these are understandings. Once the whole team gets the advantage of this, it will change your whole work tremendously. So because now what you're doing here is building a single source of truth for the project A discussion in here. Obviously, if things become too complex, you could have a channel project A, but also later on in the video, we will talk about, does it even make sense talking about project A in a communication tool? Okay, so stay tuned. So, but this being said, now that I have one block, one thread that consists of all the information, I can go to the 3 dots, and all of the other communication tools have this as well. I can copy the link and I can go to another system. Let's go to, in our case, ClickUp. Let's go to a list here and let's say project A, okay? And then I can go here and I can add the link that I just copied from Slack here, or even in the comments here, okay? Additional context. Boom, thread. See, it shows me even the thread if you have the integration with Slack, give me some information about things. I click there, it opens up Slack. I can go to the conversation and it opens up the thread, or it shows the thread. It opens up the thread. If it would have been full screen, it would have opened up. And I have the full context there by clicking on it in my Project A task manager. So you see, I'm building up a single source of truth for all the information related to Project A here, even that the conversation was outside. Imagine now, going back to our pictures here, imagine now if I click on this link and I end up here, okay? And I have all the additional redundant information scattered in between until I find all the information. This is where it becomes really powerful when you see the big picture of connecting information with action. That's what our ICOR methodology is all about, moving information to action, leveraging information to be more productive and get things done faster. You shouldn't waste any time searching for information when you want to get things done. This will drain your battery, your energy levels will drop. You will get anxious, nervous, you will start hating your job because you just do work about work. And this is one of the reasons for this. If this now also appears in emails and you have even another disconnected conversation on email about Project A, again, then you start searching already in 2 systems. Maybe you have some Google Docs or Microsoft Word documents on a SharePoint or on a OneNote drive, on a cloud drive, okay? Things become really worse. The best way to overcome all the scattered information is define a single source of truth, like here Project A, and then link out to the different conversations and emails. So that's what I said initially. Maybe you're not able to change the team's mindset that they now switch completely to a different system, but you are able to pick emails as well. You can pick the URL of the email conversation, put it here. Now you have all the updates in one place. In this case, it's ClickUp or any other project management tool that you might want to use, even Microsoft Teams or Microsoft Planner, things like that. So here I just showed, grouping these things into the threads makes it already so much easier to navigate through this. Okay, so now when we compare this side with this side, we immediately can identify, oh, Project A, Project B, Project C, Project X, and everything is related in one box. And whenever I need any info about Project C, I go to this thread and boom, I have the idea about Project B and everything is in context. That's already one of the most powerful things that you can do, trying to keep context in your conversations. People might think also if they reach out to you via chat, then it's more likely that you will respond than sending an email. So for them, it's a increase of priority or to get a faster response when they reach out via chat than they do via email. And this is also a misconception, and it's something that you can train your colleagues that this won't happen. That's something I did in corporate, and that many of our clients do as well after going through the ICOR methodology, especially in our inner circle coaching program. There we show how easy it is to change people around you by first changing yourself and setting specific rules. And that's the next reason why efficiency is very low at teams where the communication is not set up properly. The second reason are lack of rules. And here are the rules that we use at the paperless movement. And that's something that I implemented in corporate as well, where I was working in 10 different projects globally in parallel. So there were a lot of stakeholders, all felt that they have the highest priority and things like that. What you see here now are 3 simple rules. If you get a normal message, then it's just an information on updates. You can send this via email. You can also send this via chat or the communication platform, but don't expect an immediate answer, okay? The next level would be then an important message. So this means if I receive a message like this and I see the notification popping up with an orange dot in front, I know I can finish what I'm working on right now. If I'm doing some deep work, if I'm in a meeting or something like that. But after I finish my work, that's the first thing I should look at because it's very important. If not acted on after you finish your task, a project is blocked, for example, okay? Then urgent. I saw a lot in the past urgent emails. There's not such a thing with urgent emails because what we recommend is just checking your emails twice a day. And with the routines that you have in place with your personal task management that you also learn in ICOR methodology, everything based on common sense, by the way, you will keep your energy levels high, but also the expectations from your colleagues. Know if they send you an email and you have in your footer, for example, I answer my emails twice a day, they know, okay, around 3 o'clock, I will get a reply to my email. And then they know what to expect when they send you an email. The thing is, you have to do this as well, right? So people know that when they send you an important message or when they send you an email, that they actually get the response as you saying it. But urgent is something you never send an email for urgent, okay? Urgent means if this is not acted on immediately, it will have a negative business impact. So for example, if the website is broken down and you're the one who are able to fix it, then you should stop work and work on this immediately. Otherwise, people are not able to buy your products, for example. Or if a production line where you produce products is broken and you have to fix this because every minute this production line stands still costs money, well, then this might be a higher priority than what you're working on right now. That's also something that you learn in the ICOR methodology. What are your own priorities? What are the priorities of your tasks that you have to do? So you are able to make a comparison of what comes in to check if unexpected events that are coming in during your workday are actually more important than what you're currently working on. And this is only possible if you're crystal clear if the thing that you're working on is actually important enough, right? So that's the thing. So for urgent, if it is really urgent, then it's a phone, but it's the last instance. I never call a person and say, well, how have you been doing? So what are you doing now? Let's drink a coffee and so on. No, that's interrupting workflows. We differentiate in ICOR between deep work and shallow work. And if you're in a deep work session trying to get things done in the morning and you constantly get interrupted by chat and phone, this is what holds you back to actually moving the whole business forward. You know, even if as an employee, you're not able to really focus on what matters most for the business, but you are stuck in shallow work the whole day, even doing work for other people and not getting your own thing done. And then working late in order to catch up whatever you had behind. And with these rules and communication, it's pretty easy. Man, if you send me something urgent, it better is something that really kills business productivity. And this is how this looks like in threads, okay? So for example, I could send a message with an important dot in front. And here I have an idea for what we can do in Project C. And this is something That's a good example. This is not urgent, right? An idea is something, again, in the project management part of ICOR, that we move into the idea incubator. We have a place in each project management tool. Our team members can place their ideas and they can grow in there if we make sure that they are seen thanks to the weekly agenda meeting. Well, I'm bringing in a lot of different concepts and workflows in this video that all come together in the communication. So if you're really interested to nail your project management and task management and the team communication, I highly recommend to watch the Task Management Like a Pro and the Project Management Like a Pro courses that are part of the ICOR journey inside our membership. There you learn it all, and then all these things click into place. Nevertheless, what I share here should also make a lot of sense for you because you can relate to this at your work. Okay, so this is not urgent. So again, let's go to Slack, and this is how it looks. Okay, I open up this and say, okay, important, and I usually then mention also the person. So it gets another level of notification, and then please, can you do this? And then I expect this person to reply in a thread. Okay, that's it. And then I have control over this. I know that if there is a long list of things going on, my eye will focus, is there any orange or other red dots? And I can already filter by this. And if I go to activity, I will immediately see what is really important, what's urgent. That is obviously something that works if the team adapts to these rules. And that's usually something that the team leader can implement and then force things. And we did this very often because it made so much sense to have these communication rules there and keep the team motivated by the right communication ways. The last thing I want to talk about are a lack of single source of truth. We briefly talked about single source of truth earlier in this video, but here you see the concept, okay? So why should you talk about project A at all in a communication tool? And that's something that is really the worst thing, where project managers reach out to you, ask, do you have an update about this task? Do you have an update about this? This is a strong indicator that there is no proper single source of truth for everybody in this project team to look at and to find the relevant information. Because a project manager, if using a proper setup productivity system, should never have the need to reach out to any of the project members to ask for a status update. The system itself should give you always live updates on what's the status of the project. Other than that, if there is manual work and you have project meetings where the project manager gathers the information from all the people and writes it down in his notebook or updates his own project management tool where just half of the people have access to, this is all things that makes project management highly inefficient. By defining a single source of truth, having a project management tool, for example, and defining, okay, that's project A, and I need an update for task 1. So you have a project A list, for example, in ClickUp. Let's go to ClickUp again. So for example, here, I create a list. I call it project A, okay? If I would be a project manager, that's how I would work on this. And I make another list and say project B. So I'm a project manager responsible for project A and project B. So now these projects will have different tasks. Again, something that you learn in the ICOR methodology, that tasks the only level of action. So a project can never be an action. It's just a container holding tasks. And if you have more complex tasks, there might be subtasks, but only one level. I mean, for example, ClickUp allows you 7 levels of subtasks, but this is stupid. That makes things more complicated. So if there is more complex tasks, then you have one level of subtasks, and these subtasks become then the actionable items. So do this A, do this B, do this C, okay? And then we have do this task 2, okay? So the thing is, we always recommend naming these tasks with a verb in front, so you know there's something that needs to be done and this is the actionable item. And without it, and usually we even set this then in capital letters, it's an indicator that this is a container of action items, okay? We are not using checklists as action items. It's here, action items and checklists. That's stupid. This is just a reminder of what you need to do. And we don't recommend this because keep things as simple as possible for everybody to use based on common sense. Tools like ClickUp, Notion, they offer you so many options to set these systems up. But in the end of the day, most members are overwhelmed by just using the system itself. Therefore, it needs to be as simple as possible. So how does this work now when we come to communication? Instead of going to my communication tool, reaching out to the project members individually asking for updates, I would go here. And one guy is working on this. Let's see. Well, I'm working on this. Okay. I go there. By the way, we also assign just one person to a task, not two, not three, one, because this person feels responsible to accomplish the task, even if there are others involved, but one person needs to be accountable to get it done. And if the others are not working, well, then the person needs to look how to move things forward. Okay. So now I could reach out and say, hey, Tom, okay, any update on this task? Well, I see this first of all in my inbox at ClickUp, and I can reply in a thread again. Okay, so I reply, it opens a thread, and I say, hey, yes, this and this happened. Okay, boom. And now I have a thread about this update here. So it's the single source of truth of this update. But you see, it stays in context with the task. And this is the powerful thing. I don't need a communication system to update these things. If there was any communication on an external communication system, then I would always add the link to the conversation here. As a project manager should do is something like this, okay? Consolidating things together by not sitting in a meeting, asking people, writing things up, and then adding the information that is might not even detailed enough into, I don't know, a Word document or whatever. No. Bring it here, link back to the original conversation where you see the expert talking about it, and that's it. Even meeting recordings, all the things you can bring in here and building a single source of truth. And now think about how powerful this is to work highly focused on the individual tasks, moving the whole project forward. So by just doing this, I know if I'm working on this task, I will move the project forward to its goal. So if everybody sees the same picture, they see how things evolve over time. Another advantage is if somebody drops out of the team suddenly, everything remains there. All the information is still accessible. Compare this with email conversations. You have no access to the account anymore of this person. Here, a new person comes in and can go through all the conversation that happened on this specific topic. So let's go back to our picture here. And here's what happened, okay? You could start reaching out on a communication tool because you think you can reach them better than in a project management tool. But then at least say, okay, that's really important. We have to get an update. So when you finish your task, please give us an update and link then to the task. All the project managers allow you to give you a link. So you go to the three dots, copy link, that's for ClickUp. And I then can go here and say, okay, boom. This is the link, and the person in the communication tool can click here and then should give the update in the project management tool in the comments, not here. This is just a heads up, so we keep the context in one place. The same here, if you reach people better with an urgent thing, so this tells, okay, the whole team is waiting, okay, we need this update, then in the single source of truth. So you see all the updates live happening inside your project management tool. Well, that was quite a long one, but I think this is very important as we see many of our members, of our inner circle members, and the 1,000 people we helped already in all types of industries to overcome these communication obstacles. And these are really the three things we figured out that are the biggest issues when it comes to team communication, and it is holding people back or teams back from being actually productive and doing less work about work. From my personal experience, by introducing this when I was working in corporate back then, it's more than 10 years ago now, I increased team performance by 60% with the same headcount. As a team member, by just proposing this to my team leader, implementing these things, this wasn't done in a day, but I saw the issue and this was the solutions. And this was, again, 10 years ago, ICOR principles were developed already. And now what you see in our membership, this is the complete methodology, all based on real life experiences from ourselves, but with thousands of different clients that we worked with already. So therefore, if you're really serious about your project management, come and join us in a membership and let's ICOR. Or if you just want to check out how healthy your productivity system overall is, we have a free quiz on our website that you can take, and then you see and get recommendations how to improve it in the best way possible. I hope you liked the video. If you feel this is something your colleagues should see as well, share it with them, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so I can catch you up in the next one.